The human soldier's eyes widen as he spots the alien figure crumpled on the cave floor. She's barely breathing, her blue-tinged skin pale and dry. This must be the Binar from the crashed escape pod. He rushes to her side, knowing every second counts. Corporal Donald Jenkins kneels beside the unconscious alien, his trained hands already reaching for the medical kit at his belt. The rocky ground of the barren moon digs into his knees as he works, administering emergency fluids and nutrients to the dehydrated Binar. Her faint pulse quickens under his touch. Days earlier, Cora had dragged herself into this meager shelter after her supplies ran out. The Binar scientist had salvaged what she could from her escape pod, but it wasn't enough. The uninhabited moon offered no sustenance, just endless expanses of dust and stone under an alien sky. She'd tried to repair the pod's communication systems, her usually nimble fingers clumsy with desperation, but the crash had done too much damage. As hunger and thirst took their toll, Cora had ventured out, searching for anything edible. She found nothing. Now Jenkins gently lifts the Binar's frail form. Her weight is almost nothing in his arms as he starts the grueling trek back to his shuttle. Each step is careful, measured. He can't afford to stumble, not with such precious cargo. Meanwhile, aboard the human reconnaissance ship that brought Jenkins to this remote star system, Captain Sarah Hawkins paces the bridge. Her decision to investigate the faint distress signal was a risk. Humans and Binars aren't exactly on friendly terms. The recent territorial dispute has left both sides wary, a Cold War simmering just below the surface of polite diplomacy. But Hawkins couldn't ignore a plea for help, no matter the source. She dispatched Jenkins and his team to the moon's surface, hoping they'd find survivors, and praying this wasn't some elaborate trap. As Jenkins trudges across the lunar landscape, his mind races. What was a Binar doing out here, so far from home? The escape pod's presence suggests a larger vessel, but where is it now? And who attacked them? He reaches the shuttle, where his teammates have finished examining the crashed pod. Their faces are grim as they report their findings, signs of weapons fire, a hastily launched escape. Something bad happened here, something that could shatter the uneasy peace between humans and Binars. With their unconscious passenger secure, the shuttle lifts off, racing back to the main ship. In the medical bay, Cora's eyes flutter open. She finds herself staring into Jenkins's concerned face. The ship's AI translator hums to life, bridging the gap between their languages. Cora's voice is weak but urgent as she begins to speak. She tells of a scientific mission, a nearby nebula ripe for study. But something went wrong. An unknown alien force attacked without warning or mercy. Cora was the only one to reach an escape pod in time. Jenkins listens intently, his soldier's instincts on high alert. This information could be vital, or it could be a carefully crafted lie. As Cora finishes her tale, Captain Hawkins enters the medical bay. Her face is a mask of controlled tension. "We have a decision to make," Hawkins announces, her gaze shifting between Jenkins and their Binar guest. "Do we return her to her people as a gesture of goodwill, or do we keep her as a potential intelligence asset?" The question hangs in the air, heavy with implications. Jenkins looks at Cora, seeing not an enemy, but a fellow sentient being in need. The Cold War between their peoples seems distant in the face of her ordeal, but he knows the captain's concerns are valid. The wrong choice here could have far-reaching consequences. As the ship sets course for the nearest human outpost, the debate rages on. And in the midst of it all, a most unlikely connection begins to form between a human soldier and a Binar scientist, two individuals caught in the cross-currents of interstellar politics and the basic drive to survive. As the ship sets course for the nearest human outpost, Jenkins finds himself spending more and more time with Cora. Initially assigned as her guard, he quickly becomes fascinated by the Binar scientist's resilience and intelligence. "Your respiratory system is quite remarkable," Jenkins observes as he watches Dr. Chen conduct a series of non-invasive scans on Cora. "The way you adapted to the moon's thin atmosphere is incredible." Cora's lips curl into a small smile, her translator converting her binary language into smooth English. "Our bodies are designed for efficiency. It's a necessity when you evolve on a world with limited resources." As the days pass, their conversations grow deeper, more personal. Jenkins shares stories of his childhood on Earth, describing lush forests and vast oceans. Cora, in turn, speaks of her homeworld, a place of towering crystal spires and endless data streams. I never imagined I'd find a human so intriguing, Cora admits one evening, her large eyes fixed on Jenkins. The soldier feels his pulse quicken, surprised by the depth of his own growing feelings. Their budding connection doesn't go unnoticed. Lieutenant Commander Marcus Reeves watches them with barely concealed disdain. "We can't trust her," he warns Captain Hawkins during a private meeting. "For all we know, this could be an elaborate Binar plot." Hawkins listens, her face impassive. She's acutely aware of the delicate balance she must maintain. "Your concerns are noted, Commander, but for now, we proceed as planned." The captain's purpose is tested when an encrypted transmission arrives from Admiral Jonathan Reeves. His orders are clear: divert to Black Site Omega, a classified research station rumored to conduct ethically questionable experiments. Troubled, Hawkins seeks out Jenkins. She finds him in the mess hall, deep in conversation with Cora. The Binar is gesturing animatedly, describing some complex scientific theory. Jenkins listens, utterly captivated. "Corporal, a word," Hawkins interrupts. As Jenkins follows her to a quiet corner, she notices the reluctance in his eyes as he leaves Cora's side. "I need you to get more information from her," Hawkins says in a low voice. "Anything about her research, the attack on her ship. We need to know what we're dealing with." Jenkins nods, his expression serious. "Understood, Captain. But may I ask why?" Hawkins hesitates, then decides to trust her instincts. "We've received new orders. Orders I'm not entirely comfortable with. The more we know, the better equipped we'll be to make the right decision." That night, as the ship hums through space, Jenkins finds Cora in the observation deck. She stands before the vast window, her slight frame silhouetted against the stars. "It's beautiful," she whispers as he approaches. "So different from the view on my world." Jenkins moves to stand beside her. "Cora, there's something I need to ask you about your research, about what happened to your ship." She turns to face him, her expression suddenly guarded. "Why do you want to know?" "Because I care about what happens to you," Jenkins replies, surprised by the raw honesty in his voice. "And because I think it might be important. More important than either of us realized." Cora is silent for a long moment, her eyes searching his face. Finally, she speaks. "We found something in the nebula, an artifact, ancient beyond imagining. It held secrets, Jenkins, secrets that could change everything." As Cora describes the artifact and its potential to revolutionize faster-than-light travel, Jenkins listens with growing amazement and dread. The implications are staggering. "Is that why you were attacked?" he asks. Cora nods. "I believe so. Whoever they were, they knew what we had discovered, and they wanted it for themselves." Jenkins' mind races. This information changes everything. He needs to tell the captain immediately. But as he turns to leave, Cora catches his arm. "Jenkins," she says softly, "thank you for listening, for caring. I never expected to find a friend here, let alone—" She trails off, her eyes conveying what words cannot. Jenkins feels a surge of emotion. Without thinking, he leans in, his lips brushing against hers in a gentle kiss. For a moment, the vast cultural divide between them disappears. The moment is shattered by the sound of the ship's intercom. "All senior staff report to the bridge immediately," Captain Hawkins's voice rings out. As Jenkins hurries to report his findings, he's unaware of the surveillance camera in the corner of the observation deck. In his quarters, Lieutenant Commander Reeves replays the footage of Jenkins's kiss with Cora, his expression darkening. The ship alters course, now bound for the mysterious Black Site Omega. In the medical bay, Dr. Chen reviews her findings on Binar physiology, her brow furrowed with concern. And in her quarters, Captain Hawkins stares at the classified orders on her screen, the weight of command heavy on her shoulders. As the human vessel cuts through the void, tensions simmer beneath the surface. Jenkins's loyalties are tested, Cora's future hangs in the balance, and the fate of two civilizations may rest on the decisions made in the coming hours. As the ship sets course for Black Site Omega, Jenkins finds himself increasingly torn between duty and conscience. He spends every spare moment with Cora, their connection deepening despite the looming threat of separation. One evening, as they sit in the observation deck, Jenkins makes a decision that will alter the course of their journey. "Cora," he says, his voice low and urgent, "I can't let them take you to that facility. We need to find a way to protect you." Cora's large eyes widen with a mix of fear and hope. "What can we do?" she asks, her translator barely above a whisper. Jenkins leans in close, outlining his plan. He'll enlist Dr. Chen's help to falsify medical reports, making it appear that Cora's unique physiology is incompatible with the experiments planned at Black Site Omega. Meanwhile, he'll teach Cora about human ship systems and emergency protocols, preparing her for any eventuality. Over the next few days, Jenkins works tirelessly to put his plan into action. Dr. Chen, moved by Cora's plight and intrigued by the scientific implications of binar biology, agrees to help. She meticulously alters Cora's medical records, creating a convincing case for why the binar scientist cannot be subjected to the facility's experiments. In the quiet hours of the ship's night cycle, Jenkins meets Cora in rarely used maintenance corridors. He guides her through the intricacies of human technology, explaining emergency systems and escape procedures. Cora absorbs the information with remarkable speed, her binary mind perfectly suited to processing complex data. "You're a quick study," Jenkins remarks as Cora successfully bypasses a simulated security lockdown. Cora's lips curl into a small smile. "It helps to have an excellent teacher," she replies, her gaze lingering on Jenkins's face. Their clandestine activities don't go unnoticed. Lieutenant Commander Reeves watches from the shadows, his suspicions growing with each passing day. He compiles a report for Captain Hawkins, detailing Jenkins's unusual behavior and frequent meetings with the binar prisoner. Captain Hawkins, already uneasy about their orders, finds herself facing a crisis of conscience. As she reviews Reeves's report, a decision crystallizes in her mind. She cannot, in good conscience, deliver Cora to a fate unknown at Black Site Omega without further investigation. The captain summons her senior staff to the bridge. "We're taking a detour," she announces, her tone brooking no argument. "There's an anomaly in a nearby asteroid field that requires our attention." As the ship alters course, Jenkins feels a surge of hope. This delay buys them precious time to strengthen their position and potentially find a solution that doesn't involve surrendering Cora to a shadowy research facility. The asteroid field looms before them, a chaotic jumble of rock and ice. As the ship's sensors sweep the area, an alert chimes on the science officer's console. "Captain," he calls out, excitement evident in his voice, "we're detecting energy signatures similar to those associated with the artifact Cora's team discovered." A hush falls over the bridge. Captain Hawkins leans forward, her eyes fixed on the sensor readouts. "Prepare an away team," she orders. "We need to investigate this up close." Jenkins immediately volunteers to lead the mission. Hawkins hesitates, aware of his personal stake in the situation. She nods slowly, then adds, "Lieutenant Commander Reeves will accompany you." As Jenkins and Reeves prepare for the mission in the shuttle bay, tension crackles between them. Reeves checks his weapon with pointed deliberation, his eyes never leaving Jenkins. "Remember, Corporal," he says, voice low and cold, "our primary loyalty is to Earth and her interests, not to alien prisoners, no matter how fascinating we might find them." Jenkins meets Reeves's gaze steadily. "Understood, sir," he replies, his tone neutral but his eyebrows furrowed. The shuttle launches, navigating the treacherous debris field with practiced ease. As they penetrate deeper into the asteroid cluster, their sensors begin to pick up stronger readings. Jenkins pilots the craft towards the source, his heart racing with anticipation. Suddenly, the asteroid field parts, revealing a structure unlike anything they've ever seen. Nestled within a massive hollowed-out asteroid is a sleek, otherworldly outpost. Its surfaces shimmer with an iridescent gleam, defying the harsh vacuum of space. "My God," Reeves breathes, momentarily forgetting his suspicions in the face of this astounding discovery. Jenkins brings the shuttle in for a landing on a smooth platform that seems to materialize as they approach. As they exit the craft, Their suit sensors confirm a breathable atmosphere within the structure. With a shared look of amazement and trepidation, they remove their helmets. The interior of the outpost is a marvel of advanced technology. Holographic displays flicker to life as they pass, showing star charts and complex equations beyond their comprehension. Jenkins recognizes similarities to the artifact Cora had described, confirming their suspicions about the origins of this place. This has to be the work of the same species that attacked Cora's ship, Jenkins says, his voice filled with awe and a touch of fear. Reeves nods grimly. And it's clear their technological capabilities far exceed our own. This could change everything, Jenkins. The balance of power, our understanding of the universe. As they delve deeper into the abandoned outpost, recording everything they see, Jenkins's mind races. This discovery could be the key to protecting Cora. If he can convince Earth Space Command of the importance of cooperating with the Binars in the face of this unknown threat, perhaps they'll reconsider their plans for Blacksite Omega. Meanwhile, back on the ship, a medical emergency erupts. Cora collapses in her quarters, her body reacting violently to a routine medication. Dr. Chen rushes to save her, forced to reveal more about Binar physiology to her medical team as they fight to stabilize their alien patient. As Cora's condition stabilizes, Dr. Chen makes a startling discovery. The unique aspects of Binar biology she's observed could have groundbreaking implications for human medicine. This realization adds yet another layer to the complex ethical dilemma facing the crew. The shuttle returns, bringing with it evidence that will reshape the mission entirely. As Jenkins and Reeves step onto the hangar deck, the atmosphere aboard the ship crackles with tension and the promise of imminent change. The next few hours will determine not just Cora's fate, but potentially the course of human Binar relations and humanity's place in a suddenly much larger and more dangerous galaxy. Universe. The discovery of the alien outpost sent shockwaves through the crew. As Jenkins and Reeves returned with their findings, Captain Hawkins called an emergency meeting of her senior staff. The implications were staggering. An advanced alien civilization with technology far beyond their own, potentially hostile to both humans and Binars. In the midst of this revelation, chaos erupted. Alarms blared through the ship's corridors as Jenkins sprinted towards the brig. His heart raced, mind focused on a single goal, freeing himself and reaching Cora. Years of military training kicked in as he approached the guard station. "Medical emergency in level 3!" Jenkins shouted, feigning panic. As the guards turned, he struck. A swift series of blows left them unconscious. Retrieving a security card, he disabled the force field and stepped out of his cell. Meanwhile, Cora sat cross-legged in her quarters, eyes closed in deep concentration. Her fingers danced across an invisible interface as she mentally interfaced with the ship's systems. Suddenly, the door slid open. She rose gracefully, a determined glint in her eyes. Jenkins and Cora's paths converged in a dimly lit maintenance corridor. Their eyes met, a mixture of relief and urgency passing between them. Jenkins reached out, his hand brushing Cora's arm. "Are you all right?" he asked, voice low. Cora nodded. "I've disabled the security protocols in this section. We have approximately 7.3 minutes before they're reset." "Then let's move," Jenkins replied, leading the way towards the shuttle bay. As they navigated the ship's winding passages, the vessel shuddered. Lights flickered and artificial gravity wavered. Jenkins stumbled, catching himself against a bulkhead. "What was that?" he muttered. Cora's eyes unfocused briefly as she connected to the ship's network. Multiple system failures detected. Origin unknown. "This isn't normal wear and tear, Jenkins. It's deliberate." Before Jenkins could respond, voices echoed from an adjoining corridor. He recognized Lieutenant Commander Reeves's authoritative tone. Pulling Cora into a recessed alcove, they held their breath as a group of armed crewmen passed. "Check every deck," Reeves ordered. "Find Jenkins and the Binar. Use whatever force necessary." As the footsteps faded, Jenkins and Cora shared a look of concern. Their escape had just become significantly more complicated. They pressed on, encountering pockets of resistance along the way. Jenkins' combat training proved invaluable as he neutralized threats with precision and efficiency. But it was Cora who surprised him most. During one skirmish, she moved with inhuman speed and grace, easily evading a crewman's grasp and delivering a precise strike to incapacitate him. Jenkins stared, momentarily stunned. Cora met his gaze, a hint of a smile on her lips. Binar physiology has its advantages, she explained simply. As they neared the shuttle bay, the ship's intercom crackled to life. Captain Hawkins' voice rang out, clear and resolute. Attention all hands. This is the captain speaking. I am hereby countermanding our previous orders. We will not proceed to Black Site Omega. Instead, we will return Cora to her people and share our findings about the alien threat. I understand this decision may be controversial, but I believe it to be the right course of action. Jenkins and Cora exchanged glances, hope flickering in their eyes, but their relief was short-lived as another voice cut through the comm system. This is Lieutenant Commander Reeves. Captain Hawkins's orders are a direct violation of our mission parameters. All loyal crew members are ordered to disregard her commands and proceed as originally instructed. The ship descended into chaos as crew members were forced to choose sides. Jenkins and Cora used the confusion to their advantage, slipping past distracted guards and making their final approach to the shuttle bay. As they reached the bay doors, a violent tremor rocked the ship. Sparks showered from damaged consoles, and the artificial gravity failed completely. Jenkins and Cora floated off the deck, grasping at handholds to stabilize themselves. "The sabotage," Cora gasped. "It's escalating. We need to—" Her words were cut off as a proximity alert blared through the ship. A massive vessel had just dropped out of faster-than-light travel nearby. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a sleek, otherworldly design that sent a chill down Jenkins's spine. "It's them," Cora whispered, her voice a mixture of fear and awe. "The ones who attacked my research vessel." As the crew scrambled to battle stations, another alert sounded. A Binar warship had entered the system, responding to Cora's earlier distress call. The situation teetered on the brink of all-out conflict. Jenkins and Cora hovered in the shuttle bay, the escape craft tantalizingly close. But as they looked at each other, a silent understanding passed between them. Their combined knowledge of the alien artifacts and technology could be crucial in the face of this new threat. Abandoning their escape plan, they turned back towards the heart of the ship. As they moved, Jenkins pulled Cora close, their bodies pressed together in the zero-gravity environment. For a moment, the chaos around them faded away. Their lips met in a kiss that transcended species, a connection forged in the crucible of their shared ordeal. Pulling apart, they shared a look of tenacity. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. As alarms blared and crew members rushed to their stations, Jenkins and Cora made their way to the bridge, ready to confront the unknown and shape the future of human-Binar relations. The three ships hung in space, locked in a tense standoff. On the bridge of the human vessel, Captain Hawkins stood tall, her eyes fixed on the alien ship looming before them. The next move would determine the fate of not just their crew, but potentially entire civilizations. The real test of their perseverance was about to begin. The tension on the bridge was palpable as Captain Hawkins surveyed the scene before her. The human vessel, the Binar warship, and the mysterious alien craft hung suspended in the void, a cosmic Mexican standoff with potentially galaxy-altering consequences. Hawkins's mind raced, weighing options and potential outcomes. Her eyes darted to Jenkins and Cora, who stood side by side, their postures mirroring each other's tenacity. In that moment, a spark of inspiration struck her. "Jenkins, Cora," she called out, her voice cutting through the tense silence. "I need you two in the lab immediately. Your combined knowledge of the alien artifact and the outpost technology might be our best shot at understanding what we're up against." The pair shared a quick glance before nodding in unison. As they hurried off the bridge, Hawkins turned her attention to the communications officer. "Open a channel to the Binar warship. It's time we started talking." In the ship's laboratory, Jenkins and Cora worked with a frantic energy, their movements a synchronized dance of human intuition and Binar precision. Holographic displays flickered around them, filled with incomprehensible alien script and diagrams of impossible geometries. "Look at this," Cora said, her fingers manipulating a 3D model of the artifact. The energy signature, it's responding to our presence. Jenkins leaned in, his shoulder brushing against Cora's. The contact sent a jolt through both of them, a physical manifestation of the connection that had been growing between them. "You're right," he muttered, studying the readings. "But it's not just responding to you or me. It's the combination." Their eyes met, a moment of shared realization. "A hybrid interface," they said in unison. As they worked to develop this breakthrough, Captain Hawkins' voice crackled over the ship's comm system. "Attention, all hands. We've established communication with the Binar vessel. For now, we have a ceasefire and an agreement to share information." The news brought a mix of relief and apprehension to the lab. Jenkins and Cora redoubled their efforts, knowing that their work could be the key to cementing this fragile alliance. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Multiple objects detected," the tactical officer's voice rang out. "They appear to be probes launched from the alien vessel." In the lab, screens lit up with new data as the probes approached. Cora's eyes widened in recognition. "Jenkins, look, the energy signature, it's the same as what we found in the asteroid field." As they watched, the probes made contact with both the human and Binar ships. Systems began to flicker and fail, consoles sparking as the alien technology attempted to seize control. "It's trying to access our central computers," Jenkins realized. He turned to Cora, purpose etched on his face. "We need to implement the hybrid interface. Now!" Their hands flew over the controls, human and Binar working in perfect synchronization. Lines of code streamed across the screens as they built a firewall unlike any seen before, a fusion of two distinct technological approaches. On the bridge, Captain Hawkins gripped her chair as the ship shuddered around her. "Status report." "Systems failing across all decks," came the response. "Wait, something's happening. The alien probes, they're being repelled." Hawkins allowed herself a small smile. "Jenkins and Cora," she murmured. "Well done." In the lab, the pair stood back, watching as their hybrid defense system stabilized the ship. The success of their collaboration was undeniable, a tangible proof of what humans and Binars could achieve together. The door to the lab slid open, revealing Lieutenant Commander Reeves. His face, usually set in stern lines, now showed a hint of uncertainty. I may have been hasty in my judgment," he admitted. "Your work here, it's impressive." Jenkins nodded, accepting the olive branch for what it was. Reeves continued, "I have a proposal for the captain. If we combine our weapon systems with this new hybrid technology, we might stand a chance against that alien ship." As Reeves left to present his plan, Jenkins and Cora turned back to their work. The artifact sat before them, still holding many secrets. As they studied it, a new pattern emerged in its swirling surface. "Are those star charts?" Jenkins asked, leaning in for a closer look. Cora's fingers danced over the controls, enhancing the image. "Yes, and look where they lead." A distant star system appeared on the main screen, unlike any they had seen before. The implication was clear. They were looking at the potential homeworld of the alien race that now confronted them. As they prepared to report their findings, the ship rocked violently. On the main viewer, the alien vessel's weapons powered up, energy building to devastating levels. But instead of firing on the human or Binar ships, it released its fury on a previously undetected asteroid hurtling towards them. In the silence that followed, Captain Hawkins's voice came over the comm. "Jenkins, Cora, report to the shuttle bay immediately. We're sending a team to investigate that star system, and you two are leading it." As they made their way through the ship's corridors, the weight of their mission settled upon them. They were about to embark on a journey into unknown space, carrying the hopes of two species with them. In the shuttle bay, as final preparations were made, Jenkins and Cora found themselves alone for a moment. The intensity of the situation, the shared trials and triumphs, all culminated in this moment. Without a word, they came together, their lips meeting in a kiss that defied the boundaries of their species. As they parted, their eyes locked, conveying all that words could not. Then, with renewed purpose, they boarded their modified shuttle. As the bay doors opened, revealing the vast expanse of space before them, Jenkins and Cora sat side by side, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The shuttle lifted off, escorted by a small fleet of human and Binar vessels. Behind them, the alien ship remained motionless, its intentions still a mystery. Ahead lay the unknown, a distant star system that might hold the key to understanding this new threat. As they engaged their faster-than-light drive, Jenkins reached over and took Cora's hand. Together, they accelerated into the darkness, carrying with them the hopes of their people and the promise of a future where the boundaries between species might fade away in the face of a greater purpose. The shuttle accelerated into the void, carrying Jenkins and Cora towards an uncertain future. As the familiar stars stretched into streaks of light around them, Jenkins felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. He glanced at Cora, her alien features softened by the glow of the control panels. Their moment of peace was short-lived. A violent shudder rocked the shuttle, alarms blaring as warning lights flashed across the console. Jenkins' hands flew over the controls, fighting to keep the craft stable. "What's happening?" Cora asked, her voice calm despite the chaos. Jenkins gritted his teeth, wrestling with the controls. "Some kind of gravitational anomaly. It's pulling us off course." The shuttle bucked and twisted, systems failing as they were dragged into the maw of an invisible force. Through the view screen, Jenkins saw an unfamiliar planet looming before them, its surface a riot of vibrant colors. "Brace for impact," he shouted, pulling Cora close as the shuttle plummeted towards the alien world. The crash landing was a blur of noise and motion. When the dust settled, Jenkins found himself sprawled across the shuttle's floor. Cora's weight pressed against him. They disentangled themselves, checking for injuries. "We're okay," Cora said, running a diagnostic on her cybernetic implants. "The shuttle's taken heavy damage, though." Jenkins nodded, moving to the hatch. "Let's see where we've landed." As the hatch hissed open, they were assaulted by a riot of colors and scents. The air shimmered with bioluminescent particles, casting an otherworldly glow over the dense jungle that surrounded them. Strange, twisting plants seemed to pulse with an inner light, while unseen creatures chittered and called in the distance. Jenkins took a cautious step onto the alien soil, his hand instinctively reaching for his weapon. Cora followed, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in their surroundings. "The atmosphere's breathable," she said, consulting her wrist computer. "But these particles, they're interfering with our communication systems. We're cut off from the fleet." Jenkins frowned, surveying the damage to their shuttle. "Looks like we're not going anywhere soon. We need to find a way to contact Captain Hawkins and the others." As they gathered what supplies they could salvage from the shuttle, Jenkins couldn't shake the feeling they were being watched. The jungle seemed alive in a way that went beyond mere flora and fauna. They set out to explore their surroundings, hoping to find higher ground or materials to repair their craft. The alien jungle was a maze of bioluminescent flora, with plants that recoiled at their touch and vines that seemed to reach out towards them. "Look out!" Cora cried suddenly, pulling Jenkins back as a creature materialized in front of them. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, a shimmering, translucent form that phased in and out of visibility. It regarded them with multifaceted eyes before vanishing back into the undergrowth. "This place," Jenkins muttered. "It's not like anywhere I've ever been." As they pushed deeper into the jungle, the terrain began to change. The organic shapes of the alien flora gave way to angular, artificial structures. Cora gasped as they emerged into a clearing dominated by the ruins of what could only be an ancient city. The architecture was both familiar and utterly alien. Spiraling towers of an unknown material reached towards the sky, their surfaces etched with intricate patterns that seemed to shift and move in the shimmering air. "Jenkins," Cora whispered, her voice filled with awe. "These structures, they share design elements with the alien artifact. And look at this technology. It's similar to what we found in the asteroid field outpost." They approached a central building, its entrance sealed by a massive door covered in swirling symbols. As they studied the alien script, the symbols began to glow, responding to their presence. "It's activating," Cora said, her fingers hovering over the illuminated patterns. I think it recognizes us somehow." With a low rumble, the door slid open, revealing a vast chamber within. As Jenkins and Cora stepped inside, the air around them came alive with holographic displays, filling the space with ghostly images and streams of data. It's some kind of repository, Jenkins breathed, watching as star charts and alien text swirled around them. Cora's eyes darted from one display to another, her cybernetic implants working overtime to process the information. Jenkins, this is incredible. It's the history of an ancient race, a species that seeded life throughout the galaxy, including Earth and my homeworld. As they delved deeper into the holographic data, a chilling realization dawned on them. The information spoke of a cyclical threat, a race of machine intelligences that emerged to harvest advanced civilizations. The aliens they had encountered weren't the threat itself, but sentinels left behind to warn of the machine's return. "We have to get this information back to Captain Hawkins," Jenkins said urgently. "But with our shuttle damaged and communications blocked," Cora nodded, her face set with commitment. "We'll find a way. We have to." As they exited the ancient structure, the alien jungle seemed to press in around them, more menacing than before. The weight of their discovery hung heavy between them, drawing them closer together in the face of an uncertain future. Jenkins reached out, taking Cora's hand in his. In that moment, the barriers between their species seemed to fade away, leaving only two beings united in their quest for survival and understanding. The alien sun began to set, casting long shadows across the ruins. As darkness fell, the jungle came alive with bioluminescence, bathing Jenkins and Cora in an ethereal glow. They knew the night would bring new challenges, but together they felt ready to face whatever this strange world might throw at them. With one last look at the ancient city behind them, Jenkins and Cora ventured back into the alien jungle, their path lit by the pulsing light of alien life forms. The secrets they had uncovered and the bond forged between them would shape not only their future, but potentially the fate of all their peoples. As they pushed through the underbrush, both human and Benar knew that their adventure was just the beginning of their journey into the heart of this enigmatic world. As they navigated through the luminous foliage, Jenkins and Cora stumbled upon a clearing where an ancient structure stood, its surface etched with familiar symbols. Cora's eyes widened in recognition. "Jenkins, look, these markings, they're similar to the ones we saw on the artifact." Jenkins approached the structure, running his hand along the cool metallic surface. "It seems to be some kind of communication device. Maybe we can use it to contact the fleet." As they examined the device, Cora's cybernetic implants began to interface with the alien technology. Her fingers danced across the symbols, decoding their meaning with remarkable speed. "I think I've got it," she said, her voice tinged with excitement. "We can transmit a message, but it might alert whatever intelligence controls this planet." Jenkins nodded grimly. "We don't have a choice. Captain Hawkins needs to know what we've discovered." Together, they activated the device. A beam of energy shot into the sky, carrying with it the vital information about the ancient civilization, the cyclical machine threat, and the true nature of the alien sentinels. No sooner had the transmission been sent than the jungle around them erupted into chaos. The ground trembled, and the air filled with shrieks and howls as the planetary intelligence unleashed its fury. "We need to find cover!" Jenkins shouted, drawing his weapon as strange, chitinous creatures burst from the undergrowth. They sprinted towards the underground complex they had discovered earlier, dodging grasping vines and leaping over sudden chasms that opened in the earth. Jenkins fired precise shots at the pursuing creatures, while Cora used her technical skills to seal doors and activate ancient defense systems as they descended deeper into the complex. Inside, they found themselves in a vast chamber filled with dormant machinery. Cora immediately set to work, her implants interfacing with the alien tech. "I can use this to create a defensive perimeter," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos outside. "But I need time." Jenkins nodded, taking up a position near the entrance. "I'll buy you that time." Wave after wave of creatures crashed against Jenkins's defenses. He moved with fluid grace, years of combat training evident in every shot and every dodge. But for every creature he felled, two more took its place. Behind him, Cora worked feverishly, repurposing the ancient technology into makeshift weapons and shields. Energy fields sprang to life, incinerating the smaller creatures that managed to slip past Jenkins. As they fought, their actions became increasingly synchronized. Jenkins would call out incoming threats, and Cora would adjust the defenses accordingly. They moved as one, their bond deepening with every challenge overcome. Just as it seemed they might be overwhelmed, Cora activated a final defense protocol. A pulse of energy radiated outward, temporarily stunning the attacking creatures. In the moment of respite, Jenkins and Cora found themselves face to face, breathing heavily. The intensity of the situation, the shared danger and triumph, culminated in a moment of raw emotion. Without a word, they came together, their bodies intertwining in a passionate embrace. The moment was interrupted by a low rumble that shook the entire complex. Cora broke away, her eyes wide. "Jenkins, look!" A hidden door had opened, revealing a chamber they hadn't noticed before. Inside stood a sleek spacecraft, clearly of ancient design, but still intact. "Our ticket out of here," Jenkins breathed. They rushed to the ship, marveling at its advanced technology. As Cora interfaced with the controls, Jenkins continued to hold off the renewed assault from the planetary intelligence. "I've almost got it!" Cora called out, her fingers flying over the alien controls. With a roar, the engines came to life. Jenkins leapt aboard as the ship lifted off, narrowly escaping a final lunge from one of the larger creatures. They burst from the underground complex, soaring through the planet's turbulent atmosphere. The planetary intelligence, in a last desperate attempt to maintain its isolation, activated a massive energy shield around the entire world. As they broke free of the planet's gravity, Jenkins and Cora found themselves adrift in unknown space. The navigation systems, calibrated to star positions millions of years old, offered little help in plotting a course back to their allies. "What now?" Jenkins asked, gazing out at the unfamiliar starscape. Cora's expression was determined as she studied the ship's systems. "We explore, we learn, and we find a way back." As they set a course into the unknown, Jenkins and Cora knew that their journey was just the beginning. With the ancient ship as their home and each other for company, they prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead in the vast, uncharted reaches of space. Space. Their ancient vessel glided silently through the cosmos, its advanced systems humming with energy, as Jenkins and Cora searched for a way back to their allies. Days stretched into weeks as they navigated the unfamiliar star systems. The close quarters of the ship fostered a growing intimacy between them, their shared experiences forging a bond that transcended their species' differences. On the 37th day of their journey, the ship's sensors blared to life. Jenkins leaned forward, his eyes narrowing as he studied the readout. "Cora, take a look at this," he called out, gesturing to the holographic display. She moved to his side, her cybernetic implants interfacing with the ship's systems. "It's a debris field," she said, her voice tinged with awe. "Massive. And look at the composition. These are remnants of various alien vessels." As they drew closer, the true scale of the field became apparent. Twisted metal and shattered hulls stretched as far as the eye could see, silent testament to a battle of unimaginable proportions. Jenkins maneuvered their ship carefully through the debris, his hands steady on the controls. "Some of these ships," he muttered, "they're unlike anything I've ever seen." Cora nodded, her fingers dancing across the sensor controls. "Wait," she said suddenly. "I'm picking up energy signatures. Faint, but definitely active." They exchanged a glance, years of training and shared experiences allowing them to communicate without words. Jenkins adjusted their course, heading towards the source of the energy readings. As they approached, a massive structure loomed before them, dwarfing their vessel. It was clearly artificial, its angular design a stark contrast to the organic shapes of the debris around it. "It looks intact," Jenkins observed, circling the structure cautiously. "Could be a space station of some kind." Cora opened her mouth to respond, but her words were cut off by a sudden alarm. The ship rocked violently as energy beams lanced out from hidden emplacements on the structure's surface. "Evasive maneuvers!" Jenkins shouted, his hands flying over the controls. The ship responded instantly, banking and weaving through the barrage of weapons fire. Cora's fingers blurred as she interfaced with the ship's systems. "Shields up!" she called out, just as a volley of projectiles streaked towards them. The energy barrier flared to life, the impact sending ripples across its surface. Working in perfect synchronization, Jenkins and Cora navigated the treacherous field. Jenkins's piloting skills were put to the test as he dodged debris and weapons fire alike, while Cora managed the ship's defenses and searched for weaknesses in the automated system. "There!" Cora exclaimed, highlighting a section of the structure on their display. "That looks like a docking port. If we can get close enough, I might be able to override their systems." Jenkins nodded, setting his jaw as he pushed the ship to its limits. They corkscrewed through a hail of energy beams, the hull groaning under the strain of the maneuvers. As they neared the docking port, Cora's implants interfaced directly with the structure's systems. Her eyes fluttered closed as streams of data flowed through her mind. "Almost got it," she muttered through gritted teeth. With a final burst of speed, Jenkins brought their ship alongside the port. The weapons fire ceased abruptly as Cora broke through the last of the security protocols. "Docking complete," Jenkins announced, letting out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. He turned to Cora, a grin spreading across his face. "Nice work." She returned his smile, the adrenaline of the moment causing her to reach out and grasp his hand. "We make a good team," she said softly. Their moment of respite was short-lived. The ship's sensors detected movement within the structure, mechanical systems coming to life after eons of dormancy. "We should investigate," Jenkins said, checking his weapon. "Whatever's in there, it could be our best chance of finding a way home." Cora nodded, her expression resolute. "Agreed. Let's see what secrets this station holds." As the airlock cycled open, Jenkins and Cora stepped into the unknown, their hearts racing with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation. The ancient space station loomed around them, its corridors dark and silent, holding the promise of answers and untold dangers within its depths. Cavernous depths, the air inside was stale and heavy with the weight of ages, but their suits' filters quickly adjusted, allowing them to breathe comfortably. As they ventured deeper into the station, the corridors came alive with a soft, pulsing glow. Jenkins and Cora exchanged a glance, their hands tightening on their weapons. "It's responding to our presence," Cora whispered, her cybernetic implants scanning the surroundings. "The station's systems are awakening." They pressed on, their footsteps echoing in the vast empty halls. Suddenly, a holographic interface flickered to life before them, its alien symbols swirling in a dizzying dance. Cora's eyes widened as her implants began to interface with the station's systems. "Jenkins," she gasped, "this is incredible. The amount of data here, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered." As Cora delved deeper into the station's archives, Jenkins kept watch, his senses on high alert for any potential threats. Minutes stretched into hours as they explored the ancient facility, uncovering secrets long buried by time. Their investigation was abruptly interrupted by a violent tremor that shook the entire station. Alarms blared, and the holographic displays flashed urgent warnings. "We've got company," Jenkins shouted, pulling up a tactical display. "A fleet of unknown vessels just entered the system, and they're heading straight for us." Cora's fingers flew over the controls as she attempted to bring the station's defensive systems online. "Jenkins, these ships, they match the design of the machine intelligence we encountered on the planet." The realization hit them both simultaneously. Their actions had drawn the attention of a far greater threat than they could have imagined. "We need to get out of here," Jenkins said, already moving towards the exit. "We have the data. We can analyze it once we're safely away." But as they raced back to their ship, the station's systems began to fail. Sections of the structure collapsed around them, forcing them to find alternate routes. Jenkins and Cora moved in perfect sync, their shared experiences allowing them to anticipate each other's actions without a word. They reached their ship just as the first wave of machine vessels breached the station's outer defenses. As Jenkins initiated the launch sequence, Cora frantically worked to download as much data as possible from the station's archives. The ancient spacecraft shot out of the docking bay, narrowly avoiding a barrage of energy weapons. Jenkins' piloting skills were put to the test as he weaved through the debris field, using the wreckage as cover against the pursuing machines. "Hold on!" he shouted as he executed a series of tight maneuvers, pushing the ship to its limits. Cora braced herself, her implants interfacing with the ship's systems to maximize their shields and weapons. A massive explosion rocked the space behind them as the ancient station finally succumbed to the machine attack. The shockwave propelled their ship forward, sending them tumbling through space. When they finally regained control, Jenkins and Cora found themselves once again adrift in the unknown territory. The battle had taxed their ship's systems, and the life support was struggling to maintain optimal conditions. As the temperature inside the ship began to drop, Jenkins and Cora huddled together for warmth. The close proximity brought a newfound intimacy to their relationship, the shared danger and triumph of their recent experiences, breaking down the last barriers between them. In the quiet aftermath of their narrow escape, Cora began to analyze the data they had managed to salvage from the station. Her eyes widened as she decrypted a particularly intriguing file. "Jenkins," she said, her voice filled with excitement, "I've found coordinates for another outpost. According to this, it houses a communications array powerful enough to reach across vast distances of space." Jenkins leaned in, studying the information. "That could be our ticket to contacting our allies and warning them about the machine threat." As they set a course for the hidden outpost, neither of them could shake the feeling that their journey was nowhere near the end. The vast expanse of space stretched out before them, filled with both promise and peril. The ancient spacecraft hummed softly as it carried them towards their next destination. Jenkins and Cora sat side by side in the cockpit, their bodies close in the confined space. The ship's struggling life support systems had caused the temperature to drop even further, forcing them to conserve body heat. Jenkins wrapped an arm around Cora, pulling her closer. She leaned into him, grateful for the warmth and comfort of his presence. As they drifted through the star-speckled void, their thoughts turned to the challenges that lay ahead and the growing bond between them. Their moment of peace was short-lived. The ship's sensors blared a warning, alerting them to an approaching danger. Jenkins' hands flew to the controls as a massive asteroid field loomed before them, its densely packed rocks presenting a formidable obstacle. "Hang on," Jenkins said, his voice tense with concentration. "This is going to be a rough ride." Cora interfaced with the ship's systems, diverting power to the shields and engines. "I've got your back," she assured him, her fingers dancing across the holographic displays. As they plunged into the asteroid field, Jenkins' piloting skills were put to the ultimate test. He weaved and dodged, his reflexes honed by years of training and their recent harrowing experiences. Cora worked in perfect sync with him, adjusting power levels and calculating trajectories on the fly. The ancient spacecraft groaned under the strain of their maneuvers, its hull scraping against smaller rocks that slipped past their defenses. Jenkins gritted his teeth, pushing the ship to its limits as he navigated the treacherous terrain. After what felt like an eternity, they emerged on the other side of the asteroid field. Both Jenkins and Cora let out a collective sigh of relief, their bodies still tense from the ordeal. "Nice flying," Cora said, a hint of admiration in her voice. Jenkins gave her a tired smile. "Couldn't have done it without you." As they approached the coordinates of the hidden outpost, their sensors detected no visible signs of any structures or technology. Puzzled, they began a detailed scan of the area. "There," Cora said suddenly, pointing to a faint energy signature emanating from a nearby planetoid. "It's well hidden, but definitely artificial." Jenkins maneuvered their ship closer, revealing that the planetoid was, in fact, an artificially constructed sphere cleverly disguised as a natural celestial body. They located a hidden entrance and carefully guided their spacecraft inside. The interior of the sphere opened up into a vast, technologically advanced facility that had lain dormant for millennia. As Jenkins and Cora stepped out of their ship, the facility began to come to life around them, responding to their presence. They made their way to the central computer core, their footsteps echoing in the cavernous space. As they approached, the system sprang to life, recognizing their unique human binar physiology. Cora's eyes widened as she interfaced with the outpost systems. "Jenkins, this is amazing. We have full access to the facility's capabilities, including the communications array." As they prepared to transmit their vital information back to their allies, Jenkins noticed something on one of the holographic displays. "Cora, look at this. It seems to be some kind of weapon system." They studied the schematics together, realizing that they had stumbled upon a prototype designed specifically to combat the machine intelligence threat. The weapon had the potential to disable large numbers of machine vessels simultaneously. Excitement coursed through them as they began the process of activating the weapon system. However, their elation quickly turned to concern as they realized the enormous power requirements. "The outpost's current energy reserves aren't nearly enough," Cora said, her voice tinged with frustration. "We'd need a massive power source to get this operational." Jenkins's expression grew serious as he studied the technical readouts. What if we used ourselves as the power source?" Cora looked at him sharply. "You mean channel our own life force through the technology? Jenkins, that could kill us." Before they could discuss the matter further, the outpost's long-range sensors blared a warning. The large fleet of machine intelligence vessels was approaching rapidly, their trajectory leaving no doubt as to their destination. Jenkins and Cora shared a look of understanding. The choice before them was clear, but the risks were enormous. As the machine fleet drew ever closer, they knew that their decision would not only affect their own fate, but potentially that of all human and Binar civilization. As the machine fleet drew ever closer, Jenkins and Cora shared a look of steadfast perseverance. The choice before them was clear, but the risks were enormous. Without a word, they moved towards the energy transfer chamber, their synchronized movements a testament to their deepening connection. "Ready?" Jenkins asked, his hand hovering over the activation switch. Cora nodded, her eyes meeting his. Together. They stepped into the chamber, and Jenkins initiated the transfer process. Energy coursed through their bodies, a searing pain that threatened to overwhelm them. Gritting their teeth, they channeled their life force into the ancient weapon system, feeling their strength ebb away with each passing second. The facility hummed with power, lights flickering as the weapon charged. Jenkins and Cora clung to consciousness, their bodies weakened but still functioning. As the energy transfer completed, they stumbled out of the chamber, supporting each other. "Weapon at full power," Cora gasped, her cybernetic implants interfacing with the outpost systems. Jenkins dragged himself to the control panel, his fingers flying over the holographic displays. "First wave of machine vessels entering orbit. It's now or never." With a shared nod, they activated the weapon. A brilliant pulse of energy erupted from the outpost, spreading across the system like a ripple in a cosmic pond. The effect on the machine fleet was immediate and devastating. Dozens of vessels went dark, their systems disrupted by the energy pulse. Others spun out of control, colliding with each other in a spectacular display of destruction. But their victory was short-lived. As the pulse dissipated, they saw that several enemy ships remained operational, quickly adapting to the weapon's energy signature. "Damn it," Jenkins muttered, his hands dancing across the controls. "They're evolving faster than we anticipated." Cora's mind raced, searching for a solution. Her eyes lit up as an idea struck her. "Jenkins, what if we turn this entire outpost into a mobile fortress? We could use the propulsion systems to maneuver and keep them off balance." Without hesitation, Jenkins began the activation sequence for the outpost's long dormant engines. The entire structure shuddered as ancient machinery roared to life, propelling the planetoid through space. As Jenkins piloted their unconventional craft, Cora worked feverishly to remodulate the weapon system. Their mental link, strengthened by their shared ordeal, allowed them to coordinate their efforts with uncanny precision. The machine vessels pursued relentlessly, their energy weapons leaving scorch marks on the planetoid's surface. Jenkins' piloting skills were pushed to the limit as he navigated the massive structure through the debris-filled space. "Hold on!" he shouted as he steered them into a dense asteroid field. The planetoid groaned under the stress, but Jenkins expertly weaved through the floating rocks, using them as cover against the enemy's attacks. Cora's fingers flew over the holographic interface, her cybernetic implants glowing as she interfaced directly with the weapon systems. "I've got it!" she exclaimed. "New energy signature modulated, firing now!" Another pulse erupted from the outpost, catching the pursuing vessels off guard. More enemy ships went dark, but the battle was not nearly finished. In a brief lull in the fighting, Cora activated the long-range communications array. "Transmitting tactical data and coordinates to Allied forces," she reported, her voice tight with concentration. As the transmission completed, their sensors lit up with new warnings. A massive machine fleet had detected their signal and was now en route to their position. Jenkins and Cora exchanged a glance, the gravity of their situation clear in their eyes. Then Jenkins' lips curled into a daring smile. "I've got an idea," he said, plotting a new course. "But you're not going to like it." The planetoid turned, accelerating towards the system's sun. Cora's eyes widened as she realized Jenkins's plan. "A slingshot maneuver? Are you insane? The structural integrity of this outpost can't handle that kind of stress." "It's our only shot," Jenkins replied, his hands steady on the controls. "We need the speed advantage, and if we're lucky, the solar radiation might recharge our weapon systems." As they approached the sun, the temperature inside the outpost began to rise dramatically. Systems overheated and failed, forcing Jenkins and Cora to retreat to the central control room, the only area still protected by functioning shields. The gravitational forces intensified as they swung around the star, the ancient structure creaking and groaning under the immense stress. Jenkins and Cora found themselves pressed together in the confined space, their bodies responding to the shared adrenaline and proximity. Just as it seemed the outpost would tear itself apart, they emerged from the other side of the sun, their velocity exponentially increased. The weapon systems surged with renewed energy, recharged by the intense solar radiation. "We did it!" Cora exclaimed, her eyes shining with a mixture of relief and exhilaration. Jenkins grinned, turning to face the oncoming machine fleet. "Now, let's show them what this old fortress can really do." They unleashed a barrage of energy pulses, tearing through the enemy ranks with devastating efficiency. Ship after ship fell to their assault, but the machine intelligence was relentless. The remaining vessels, recognizing the threat posed by the outpost, changed tactics. Multiple enemy ships accelerated, their trajectories aimed directly at the planetoid. Jenkins realized their intention too late. "Brace for impact!" he shouted as the first kamikaze vessel struck. The collision rocked the entire structure, sending Jenkins and Cora tumbling. As they regained their footing, alarms blared throughout the outpost. More impacts followed, each one causing catastrophic damage to the ancient facility. "We can't take much more of this," Cora said, her voice strained as she assessed the damage reports flooding her neural interface. Jenkins's mind raced, considering their dwindling options. His eyes fell on the power core readouts, and a desperate plan formed. "We need to overload the core," he said grimly. "Create an explosion big enough to take out the rest of the fleet." Cora nodded, understanding the implications. "We'll have to use our ship to escape. We don't have much time." As they prepared for their daring escape, they worked in perfect synchronization. Jenkins initiated the power core overload sequence, while Cora transferred as much of the outpost database as she could to their ship's computers. As they were about to leave the control room, Cora's eye caught a glint of something in a nearby storage compartment. "Wait," she said, reaching in to retrieve a small device. "A prototype personal shield generator. This could be useful." With the outpost beginning to break apart around them, Jenkins and Cora raced through the collapsing corridors. Their enhanced coordination allowed them to overcome obstacles that would have stopped them individually, leaping over chasms and sliding under falling debris. They reached their ancient spacecraft just as the facility's power core reached critical levels. Jenkins threw himself into the pilot's seat, his hands flying over the controls as he initiated the launch sequence. Cora strapped herself in beside him, her implants interfacing with the ship's systems to boost their shields and engines. The spacecraft shot out of the disintegrating outpost, accelerating away from the impending explosion. Behind them, the planetoid erupted in a blinding flash of energy, engulfing the remaining machine vessels in its destruction. A massive shockwave raced towards them, threatening to overwhelm their small craft. Jenkins pushed the engines beyond their limits, the ship groaning under the strain as they fought to outrun the wave of destruction. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed they wouldn't make it. Then, with a final surge of speed, they broke free, the shockwave dissipating harmlessly behind them. As the adrenaline of their escape began to fade, Jenkins and Cora took stock of their situation. They had survived yet another encounter with the machine intelligence, gained valuable tactical data, and acquired new technology. But they were once again alone in the vastness of space, uncertain of their position relative to Allied forces. Jenkins set a course for the coordinates of their last transmission, hoping to rendezvous with friendly ships. As the ancient spacecraft hummed through the star-speckled void, he turned to Cora, their eyes meeting in shared understanding. Their bond, forged through shared adversity and intimate connections, had grown stronger than ever. As they prepared for the next phase of their journey, they knew they would face not only the physical challenges of space, but also the complexities of their evolving relationship. The vast unknown stretched out before them, filled with both promise and peril. But for now, in the quiet of their small ship, Jenkins and Cora found comfort in each other's presence, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. A head stretched before them, Jenkins and Cora settled into the quiet rhythm of space travel. Their small craft hummed softly as it carried them through the star-speckled void, its ancient systems straining under the stress of recent events. As they navigated through uncharted space, the ship's control panel suddenly flickered, emitting a series of alarming beeps. Jenkins frowned, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. "Cora, we've got a problem," he said, his voice tight with concern. "The life support system is failing." Cora's cybernetic implants glowed as she interfaced with the ship's computer. "Oxygen levels are dropping rapidly. We need to act fast." They scrambled to find a solution, but the damage from their recent battles and high-speed maneuvers had taken its toll on the aging spacecraft. As the air grew thin, they realized they had only one option. "The hibernation pod," Jenkins said, gesturing to the single functioning unit. "It's our only chance." Without hesitation, they made their way to the pod. It was designed for a single occupant, but they had no choice. As the oxygen levels continued to plummet, Jenkins and Cora squeezed into the cramped space together, their bodies intertwining in the close confines. As the pod systems engaged, sending them into a state of suspended animation, Jenkins felt Cora's consciousness brush against his own. Their mental link, already strong from their shared experiences, intensified in a way he had never before experienced. Time became fluid as they drifted through space, their minds and bodies intimately connected. Images and sensations flowed between them, memories, dreams, and something deeper, more primal. Their unique human binar physiology created unexpected synergies, allowing them to share not just thoughts and emotions, but vital life energy. In the depths of their shared hibernation, Jenkins and Cora's bond deepened beyond anything they had known before. The lingering effects of their energy transfer experience at the ancient outpost seemed to amplify this connection, creating a feedback loop of shared consciousness. They floated in this state for an indeterminate time, lost in the ebb and flow of their combined essence. Suddenly, a jolt of awareness rippled through their shared consciousness. The ship's automated systems had detected something. Slowly, Jenkins and Cora began to surface from their hibernation. As their senses returned, they realized the ship had altered course and entered orbit around a planet. Through the viewport, they could see a vibrant, Earth-like world, its surface a tapestry of blues and greens. As they disentangled themselves from the hibernation pod, Jenkins and Cora felt the lingering effects of their shared experience. Their movements were perfectly synchronized, each anticipating the other's needs without a word spoken. "It's beautiful," Cora breathed, her eyes wide as she took in the sight of the planet below. Jenkins nodded, already plotting their descent. "And the atmosphere reads as breathable. We should be able to land and make repairs." They guided their craft through the planet's atmosphere, the hull glowing as it encountered resistance. Jenkins expertly piloted them towards a clearing near a large body of water, touching down with a gentle thud. As the ship's hatch opened, they were hit with a wave of fresh, sweet-smelling air. The planet's twin suns warmed their skin as they stepped onto the lush grass of the clearing. "It's like paradise," Jenkins said, taking in the vibrant colors of the alien flora surrounding them. Cora nodded, but her expression was one of concentration. "There's something different about this place. Can you feel it?" As they began to explore their surroundings, they noticed subtle changes in their perception. Colors seemed more vivid, scents more intense. The mental link between them, already strengthened by their time in hibernation, seemed to pulse with newfound energy. The atmosphere, Jenkins realized, his mind racing. It must contain trace elements that are affecting our physiology. Cora agreed, her cybernetic implants glowing as she analyzed the air. It's enhancing our sensory perception and amplifying our mental connection. As they set up a temporary base camp near their ship, Jenkins remembered the device they had salvaged from the ancient outpost. He retrieved the prototype personal shield generator, turning it over in his hands. "Let's see what this can do," he said, activating the device. The effect was immediate and astounding. A shimmering field of energy enveloped them both, and Jenkins felt a surge of power course through his body. Beside him, Cora gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's interfacing with our biology," she said, flexing her fingers as if testing newfound strength. "The combination of our human binar physiology and this technology, it's creating something entirely new." Their exploration of this enhanced state was cut short by a bone-chilling roar from the nearby forest. A massive, predatory creature burst from the tree line, its eyes fixed on them with hungry intent. Behind it, more shapes moved in the underbrush, a pack on the hunt. Jenkins and Cora shared a quick glance, their mental link allowing for instant communication. Without a word, they sprang into action, their movements fluid and coordinated in a way that would have been impossible before. As the creatures charged, Jenkins and Cora weaved and dodged with superhuman agility, the personal shield generator flaring with each near miss. They worked in perfect tandem, covering each other's blind spots and capitalizing on every opening. Their enhanced abilities proved crucial as they fended off the attack, eventually driving the predators back into the forest. As the last creature disappeared into the underbrush, Jenkins and Cora stood back to back, breathing heavily but exhilarated. "That was," Jenkins began. "Incredible," Cora finished, turning to face him. Their eyes met, and in that moment, the full weight of their shared experiences washed over them. The intensity of their connection, the strange new world around them, and the exhilaration of their enhanced abilities combined to create a potent cocktail of emotions. Before either of them could speak, a glint of something unnatural caught Jenkins's eye. He turned, squinting at a formation of rocks in the distance. "Cora," he said slowly, "I think those are ruins." As they approached the ancient structures, the true scale of the discovery became apparent. The ruins stretched out before them, a sprawling complex of weathered stone and mysterious technology. The architecture was hauntingly familiar, bearing a striking resemblance to the outposts they had encountered before. "It can't be a coincidence," Cora said, running her hand along a worn pillar. "This has to be connected to the progenitor race." Jenkins nodded, his mind racing with possibilities. "The question is, what were they doing here? And what did they leave behind?" As they ventured deeper into the ruins, neither of them could shake the feeling that they were on the verge of uncovering something monumental. The air seemed to hum with potential, and their enhanced senses picked up subtle vibrations from deep within the complex. Suddenly, a hidden panel slid open beneath Cora's touch, revealing a darkened passageway. They shared a look of commitment, their mental link buzzing with shared anticipation. "Ready?" Jenkins asked, activating the personal shield generator. Cora nodded, her implants glowing in the dim light. Together, hand in hand, they stepped into the unknown, the secrets of the progenitors waiting to be uncovered. As the passage sealed behind them, they knew that whatever they discovered in the depths of this ancient complex would change not only their lives, but potentially the fate of the entire galaxy. As they ventured deeper into the ancient complex, the air grew thick with anticipation and the hum of dormant technology. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet trembled. Jenkins and Cora froze, exchanging a worried glance. The vibrations intensified, and a low rumble filled the air. "Something's happening," Cora said, her implants pulsing with activity. Before Jenkins could respond, a blinding light erupted from the walls around them. Holographic displays flickered to life, filling the chamber with a ghostly blue glow. Ancient symbols and diagrams danced before their eyes, incomprehensible yet hauntingly familiar. A voice, neither human nor binar, echoed through the chamber. "Intruder alert! Orbital incursion detected." Jenkins's eyes widened. "We've got company." As if on cue, the complex shuddered again, this time from an impact above. The ceiling groaned, dust and small debris raining down on them. "We need to get to the surface," Cora said, already moving towards the exit. They raced through the winding corridors, their enhanced abilities allowing them to navigate the treacherous terrain with ease. As they emerged from the complex, the sight that greeted them stole their breath away. The sky was alive with fire and metal. Dozens of ships, their designs a mix of familiar and alien, descended through the atmosphere. Among them, Jenkins recognized the sleek lines of human vessels and the crystalline structures of Binar craft. But there were others, dark, angular shapes that moved with unnatural precision. "The machine intelligence," Jenkins breathed. "They've found us." Cora's implants flared as she interfaced with the complex's systems. "Jenkins, look!" She pointed to a raised platform near the center of the ruins. As they watched, panels slid away, revealing a massive control interface. Without hesitation, they sprinted towards it. Jenkins's hands flew over the controls, his enhanced senses allowing him to intuitively understand the alien technology. Cora connected directly to the system, her mind racing through streams of data. "It's a planetary defense network," she said, her voice filled with awe. "If we can activate it—" Jenkins nodded, understanding her intent. Together they worked in perfect synchronization, their movements a dance of flesh and technology. The air around them crackled with energy as ancient systems surged to life. With a sound like thunder, a shimmering dome materialized above them, expanding rapidly to encompass the entire planet. The shield flickered and pulsed, its energy signature constantly shifting. "It's working!" Jenkins exclaimed. "The shield is letting our allies through while keeping the machine vessels out." As if to confirm his words, several human and Binar ships breached the atmosphere, touching down in clearings near the complex. The machine vessels, however, bounced off the shield in brilliant flashes of light. A familiar voice crackled over their comm system. "Jenkins? Cora? Do you read me?" Jenkins's heart leapt. "Captain Hawkins, we're here." "Thank the stars," Hawkins replied, relief evident in her voice. "We thought we'd lost you both. What in blazes is going on down there?" Before they could respond, the shield above them flared brilliantly. The machine intelligence had begun their assault in earnest, their weapons impacting the barrier with increasing ferocity. "No time to explain," Jenkins said, his hands already moving across the control interface. "We're under attack. We need to coordinate our defenses." Cora nodded, her mind linking with the complex's systems. "I'll coordinate with the fleet from here. Jenkins, can you handle the ground defenses?" He grinned, feeling the power of the ancient technology at his fingertips. "With pleasure." As Cora's consciousness expanded to encompass the battlefield above, Jenkins immersed himself in the planet's defensive grid. Turrets and energy cannons, hidden for millennia, rose from the ground around the complex. Their mental link allowed them to react with inhuman speed and precision, anticipating each other's moves and the enemy's tactics. The sky above them became a maelstrom of light and fire. Allied ships weaved through the chaos, engaging the machine vessels that had managed to breach the shield. On the ground, waves of mechanical drones swarmed towards the complex, only to be cut down by the progenitor's automated defenses. Jenkins and Cora moved as one, their enhanced abilities pushed to the limit as they coordinated the defense of their newfound sanctuary. Each passing moment brought new challenges, new threats to overcome. Yet despite the odds, they held their ground, the bond between them growing stronger with each shared triumph and near miss. As the battle raged around them, neither Jenkins nor Cora could shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. Whatever secrets lay hidden in the depths of the progenitor complex, whatever power had drawn both allies and enemies across the stars, they knew their journey was a long way to go. The fate of two species, and perhaps the entire galaxy, now rested in their hands.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.